Hello, hello, hello. So, I was listening to Dr. Amen last night, and he was speaking about a simple exercise that you can do to help reduce stress. I'm going to tell you what it is right now. Basically, you breathe in deeply. Now, how do you know that you've breathed in deeply? So, your breath can either go into your lungs or it can go into your stomach. And so, if you breathe in deeply, it goes into the diaphragm that expands your stomach. So, take a deep breath now and feel the expansion of your stomach. Now, hold it there for 3 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds. And then count one. Now, these are scientific studies that this works. Okay, so do this with me 10 times. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 10. Now, I'm feeling a lot calmer. This simple exercise can literally save your life for 5 reasons. The first reason is it calms you down. When we get stressed, our breathing becomes shallow. Our basically our you can see people that are stressed, they look pale. That's because the blood goes to the heart, it goes to the shoulders, it goes to the I guess thighs, places which you would fight or flight, basic survival instinct. One of the ways of biofeedback is you can actually measure the temperature of your fingers. And if you can just raise the temperature of your hand, which you can do by imagining your hand being warm, imagine a warm place, and then actually just even imagine a beautiful green garden, just greenery or looking at green pictures helps calm us down. So by doing this, what you end up doing is you basically tell the body it's okay, it's safe. And it's really important because your immune system works when you're not stressed. When you're stressed, your body goes into survival mode. It doesn't care about your long-term health, it cares about your short-term power. Remember, the body either has a short-term adrenaline rush or it has a long-term concept. Now, you only get into your long-term when you are calm. Now, another reason why this is critical is because what we're dealing with the COVID is basically the worst case scenario is that the basically immune system reaction. What it's doing is whenever, let's say, you have a cut, so you'll notice that that area that is swelling, so it's a little bit painful, it's a little tender, it's red, it's a little swelling. And the reason for that is because you have white blood cells. Now, most of your cells are red blood cells, but you have white blood cells. The white blood cells are made up of different cells, but basically they're there for one reason, to find and kill diseases. So when they get a message that there's a disease, the white cells are basically an army and they come to kill the disease. The thing is that in the lungs, the job of the lung is to exchange oxygen. And so when it fills with fluid, so when this virus attacks the lung and then the immune system attacks the virus, and that creates fluid. So when it fills with fluid, so then the lung, if it doesn't have good capacity, that's why younger people it doesn't really affect. But older people it does affect because often, if you eat healthy and you exercise all the time, sleep as well, your body always rejuvenates well. But if we don't do that, our body's always rejuvenating. Many of our organs every 2 weeks are new organs. They've been recreated. But it doesn't really recreate a very good organ. It creates basically like a bit of a defective organ. So now this organ's working at, let's say, 60%. And now with this fluid in the lung, it's working at 20%. And so it's just literally not enough oxygen. So that's what a respirator does. It gives you more oxygen. But the thing is that you don't need a respirator to get more oxygen. You can get more oxygen right now through this breathing exercise. You could also do 30 minutes of exercise. Your breath speeds up. You pump more oxygen into you. And so this is a very simple mechanism to save your life. And that is, right now, what you need to be doing is, first of all, every morning when you wake up, you have to thank God. You have to put yourself in a positive mood. Obviously, fear, anxiety comes from thinking things are bad. Well, if you think things are good, then you won't have fear and anxiety. Number 2, you have to take these deep breaths. You should do it once an hour. It's very important to calm down once an hour, strengthen your lungs. Number 3, every second God recreates the world. Thank Him when you do this. And you count 1, thank, or you could do any number, anything really. You can say thank you for recreating the world. And you'll feel gratitude and you'll feel joy from the gratitude. Every second, the whole universe has been recreated. Amazing. Kabbalah taught us this, and quantum physics has proven it. And number 4, very, very important, is you have to eat healthy. You can't have sugar. You can't have any saturated fats. Basically, only use olive oil. If you're eating animal protein, meat, red meat, you shouldn't have at all. It creates a coating that coats the cells, and it doesn't allow in insulin, and insulin is necessary to bring in glucose. Very important. So you should definitely, and dairy is really pretty bad. But you shouldn't really have more than kind of a palmful of animal protein a day. And even then, you shouldn't cook it at high temperatures. When you cook it at high temperatures, like frying, whatever, you should really cook it at low temperatures. It creates carcinogens. So, and I think that might be with all oils, but certainly with animal protein. You have to have a diet which is rich in fiber. That's the most important thing that you're going to ever have, because fiber traps cholesterol. Cholesterol is the number 1 killer. We're worried about COPD, but 1 million people will die of heart attacks this year in the United States alone, and that's a cholesterol issue. And obviously, so fruits and vegetables, and mainly vegetables. You don't want to overdose on the fructose in the fruits. Sugar is poison. And processed foods is basically poison. The more people processing foods, the worse it gets. And that's really what you want to be focused on. Raw, healthy, olive oil, a minimal amount of animal protein, and the healthy ones, and not cooked on high temperatures. And so that's the basics of eating healthy. And then you also want to exercise. Really important. You have to get the cardiovascular. They even show that there's certain chemicals that are produced that are literally protecting people from COPD. So you have to ideally do some at least 10 minutes of aerobic exercise, get your blood pressure up. And that's also very important for the brain, because the worst issue for the brain is not enough blood flow to the brain. Dr. Amen has done over 190,000 brain scans. It says the biggest issue is low blood flow. So you're picking up the blood flow, and then your brain literally needs blood to survive. It's the cells, and those cells need blood. They need that blood. And so that's why you feel so much better when you exercise, because you're pushing in glucose into, basically you're pushing insulin, and the insulin pushes glucose into those cells. So suddenly your brain is just functioning better, and that's blood flow. And last but not least, water. Water is critical. We don't get enough water. Water is also one of the most important things. Renal failure is very much, they say, perhaps the cause of heart disease. And renal failure is the kidneys need to be flushed. You need to have at least 8 glasses, a liter? I'm not sure if it's a liter or 2 liters of water a day. These are really simple things. If you want to live well, these are the basics of the basics. Spread this message. This is life and death. Do it.